We know when they twerking on a car, that's not for fertility. That's what is that? That's hypersexuality. That has nothing to do with our culture. There's damn near like a disconnect, because why? It's an unsavory behavior. And you know why it's unsavory? Because you would knock your daughter head between the washing machine and the dryer if you caught her doing that.
Is that a fair statement from your experience? Majority of the music is about sex most of the time, yes or no?
Yes.
I'm not putting that on you. Okay, what else? Is that go first?
They like the girls twerking in the back of the music.
They like the girls twerking in the back of the music. Okay, let's talk about twerking, because, you know, I have a complex view on twerking. Now, culturally, when I look at other cultures, a lot of cultures got some form of twerking in it. The hula, the belly dance, the African fertility dances. But it's kind of different in the videos. Would you say it's different in the kind of baddie culture? Oh, your face got all screwed up. I love the interaction. Tell me why. Break down what's going on. What's different? What's different? No, let's talk about it. What's different? Because now, good hand. What's different about the cultural expression, which may be sexual when you see different cultures having sensual parts in their dance or in their expression, but particularly how it shows up with like baddies? What's different about it? You and you.
I feel like cultural, like they don't wear as much as revealing clothes.
What's different?
Like some people do it for the male gaze, and then some people just do it just because they're.
Ooh, somebody got deep for the male gaze. Somebody been reading and listening to podcasts. Okay, what is the male gaze? Quick break.
The male gaze is like the attention span of a man.
The attention span of a. Oh Lord, what were you gonna say?
I would say like, because the culture like wise of twerking, like some of it does it for the history of it, and then in others it could be like on top of cars, like bikinis, shorts, and just for the music.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that some of the sexual expression that you're starting to see in your reality shows, in your music, you're telling me, is not the same kind of expression that you see in like cultural heritage and history? It's a little different.
Yeah.
So what is that? What is the difference? What is that? You know how you taste something, you're trying to figure out what it is?
Yeah.
What you think it is? You want some help? It's called exploitation.
Yes.
It's called capitalism. Right? And what we need to understand is that the world will exploit your mind. The world will exploit your heart. It'll exploit your energy. And it will exploit your body. The only way to not allow that to happen is for you to have control over it. And if you don't, you'll be a lot like some of your peers where you're like, how did I get into this situation? You got to be able to control what goes into your what?
My mind.
You got to control what goes into what?
Heart.
Your what?
Energy.
Your what?
Do we really agree with her? Is it's different if it's a culture? I know, Emma, you had something on that for sure. Do we really agree?
Yes,
that
it's a difference. It's definitely a difference.
Yeah, absolutely not. Not at all. I think the point she made about I think the point she made about capitalism was maybe spot on, because this is the thing that kind of irked me, like what I was pointing out earlier. So you could get naked and twerk down the street in a parade, and that's cultural. But if a Black American woman get naked and start twerking, her ass just a degenerate whore. My nigga, no. If you have an issue with twerking in these circumstances, you need to have the same issue with twerking universally. Now, what tend to happen, and what people think I be like hyper fixated on, but I'm really not, is just people tolerate so much fucking disrespect that they don't see what I'm looking at. What tends to happen is people will take us and say, okay, we see y'all on TV all the time, we see you in these positions all the time, and we're gonna hold you to this unrealistic expectation of humanity. And then make all these derogatory prescriptions as far as who we are, what we got going on, while simultaneously excusing those activities and differences in somebody else. The lady brought up belly dancing, what she say, African fertility, and all. Essentially, it was women gyrating their waist, hips, and potentially they if they have an ass, they ass and they titties. But when Black American women do it, somehow it's the bane of all existence, and these women just whores. When other women do it, it's just cultural. Like playing this, we can excuse something based off I'm not going for that shit. We be tolerating a whole lot of disrespect strictly based off, and that's why I hate Pan-Africanism so much. Because it, in my opinion, right, the way I view it, Pan-Africanism ran around the world telling people we have no culture. So when they look at us, they then start to say that's not cultural. That's just these people being ratchet. That's not this. And then you mix Pan-Africanism in with capitalism and exploitation, because I do agree that that is exploitation. For example, if I went to the village in Africa where they doing the fertility dance, right? And I start just filming these women in the exploitative nature, or filming them with their titties out in the grocery store. Because I watched a video in Africa where the women of a tribe went into a grocery store and they didn't have no shirt on, just bare titties, right? That was cultural. If women in America would have got together and did that shit, they would have been the biggest whores that have ever existed. For women in France to protest with no shirt on all day. I've yet to see a group of black women walk around with no shirt, just nipples hanging out everywhere all day. But yet somehow everybody fixates themselves to say black American women are the problem and all this other shit. If it ain't all the women doing this shit, I'll be damned if I sit around and let a motherfucker point at my people specifically and try and pigeonhole them and just keep picking and beating on them. I'm coming with all the smoke all the time, forever, for anyone that tends to highlight another culture and talk shit to mine. I don't give a fuck if you're from this culture or outside of it. I got all the smoke for you. That's my general stance on all this shit. I'm so sick of it. Because and it'd be us tolerating that shit. And again, it's back to fucking Pan-Africanism. Because the Pan-Africans ran around telling people we have no culture, no language, no people, no history. And now everybody's saying that same shit to us. The Pan-Africans, they got to reciting the damn same thing as the fucking white supremacists. A lot of this shit that people be saying at us is white supremacist rhetoric coming back at us from these other people, and they heard that shit recited through Pan-Africans, and that shit spread through them. And they all say, oh, well, we black now, we can do this. But when you talking about black Americans, you specifically speaking about us. But with everything else, you're not really talking about your group. Because if I isolate your community, you salty. But you felt comfortable saying that slick shit about my community. No, so you're separating in that moment. If when I'm talking about your community, you're offended, and you was just saying the same thing about mine, that's a whole problem for me.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that it's one thing if, and again, I definitely agree with the teacher that a lot of interpretations of our cultural expressions have been exploited. And even if you are not African American, your culture has been exploited as well. And sometimes we get a bad habit of, as long as they are proclaiming that to be our culture, we grab onto it, whether it's positive or negative. In terms of the dancing, we got to really look at it for what it is. Like, M. White, you hitting on some great ass points, but there is a clear cultural difference between someone that is dancing for fertility, religion, and then somebody that is dancing regardless of their culture and who they are. Skin folk, kinfolk, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, it's a difference between you dancing for a cultural purpose of like fertility, rainmaking, etc., and then you just being, like that teacher was saying, exploited, and you're dancing for the male gaze, as the young lady so eloquently put it, as well as hypersexuality. That has nothing to do with our religion. That has nothing to do with positivity. That has nothing to do with the true arts of femininity. You just being nasty and you just being reckless. And I get it. Like, you can express yourself as much as you want. And I'm serious about the culture too, but distasteful, like you're saying, is distasteful. But if it's not representative of the culture, we can't just say just because black women are doing it, it's cool. Because it's not. We know when they twerking on a cod, that's not for fertility. That's what is that? That's hypersexuality. That has nothing to do with our culture. There's damn near like a disconnect, because why? It's an unsavory behavior. And you know why it's unsavory? Because you would knock your daughter head between the washing machine and the dryer if you caught her doing it. So I get it. But I don't feel like it's acceptable neither. There's a difference. But again, I agree with your points as well. Alan.
Yeah, so
No, Marcus made valid points. What I was gonna ask is, where would you say, because Pearl did too, so I don't want to overshadow that at all. I think you articulated it great. I would ask, what would be the stage? Because like I respect Marcus' position on the community and protecting our image, especially when it comes to people trying to crucify it, you know, in the worst of ways. But I would say, where's our stage? Mainly because when I think about let's say maybe a Greek woman or a Spanish woman or a Middle Eastern woman, and she is acting in a manner of showcasing a dance, it typically belongs somewhere. Like I don't typically see that happen in the middle of Target or anywhere like that. So where would you say our stage is, Mark?
A dirt road with no shoes.
Right.